Hi VC, George back with another Vinyl Finds video. I've maybe picked up 9 records I think from the last week or two. 7 jazz and 2 non-jazz, so I'll show the non-jazz first. And got 3 LPs from a local record shop and I traded in 6. So Roy Harper, Bull in a Ming Vase from 1977. There's the inner here. This is an Italian copy on Harvest. Sounds good though. Got 4 tracks on side 1 and 1 track on side 2. Roy Harper, folk, rock, psychedelic folk. Roy Harper, I think, some vocal on one of the Pink Floyd tracks. Was it Dark Side of the Moon? And you can almost hear a wee bit Pink Floyd in the music. There's a band on here, just usual musicians. Yeah, and it starts off, one of his classic tracks is One of Those Days in England. Great track. And side 2 is just one version of One of These Days in England. It's a great earworm song once it gets in your head. Side 1 finishes with the Watford Gap, and that's not one of my favourite tracks. It's a wee bit like, it reminds me of Cumberland Gap, what's his name? A wee bit Knees Up Mother Brown sort of track, pub song, but Roy Harper, great vocals, fantastic guitar player, Lonnie Donegan, and yeah, real glad to get this in the collection. One of These Days in England on side 2 is parts 2 to 10. Just a fantastic song. Roy Harper, Bull in a Ming Vase. Also in the same sort of vein, Richard Thompson and 13 Rivers. This is in really good nick. It was from 2018. There's 13 rivers going into that lake there, or pond. Richard Thompson, yeah, originally from Fairport Convention. So it's in that same style of Roy Harper, folk based, but it's rock, psychedelic rock. Great sounding album, recorded in LA. And it's on, I don't know, Proper Records. Let's go label there. Yeah, it's on 2 records, double album. Real good, sounds fantastic. Great guitarist. Richard Thompson's vocals a wee bit, I would say, he sounds a wee bit like Nick Cave. Almost. Great cover, good album, real pleased to pick this up. I think the first 2 LPs were £15 and I couldn't really let this one go. John Coltrane, it's a twofer, and it's John Coltrane really with the Red Garland trio. So it's Soul Train from 1958. And Chaining In, I think, was recorded in 57, Prestige label. And this is a UK copy from 1957. Still got to wash these albums, give them a clean, and yeah. So I have Soul Train anyway. That's slightly swithered buying this because I had Soul Train, but I didn't have Chaining In, so sounds really good, really good. So whenever I pick up a copy of Chaining In, I will pass this one on. John Coltrane, and it's just called John Coltrane on Prestige. UK 1981 copy. real cool getting this. And the big one for me this week was, or last week when I got it, is this John Coltrane Quartet Plays. Now this is, I got this off eBay, and it's a UK original. It's the EMI. They take out the Impulse badge there. Now these aren't gatefold. It's a UK original mono from 1965. It's got the nice old inner here, EMI inner, and that's his master voice. Yeah, I was delighted to pick this up, and I mean, I've been watching this LP for a long time. It's not had a lot of reissues, hard to pick up, and they're generally pretty expensive. So he had this on, I just chanced my luck, he had it on bid stand at £40, offered 30, he came back with £35, so I would have gave him the 40 anyway, or whatever, if I got a reasonable price. Old tip-on jacket. So 4 tracks on this. We've got, first track is Chim Chim Cheree from Mary Poppins, and he does a great version of that. Brasilia. 2 tracks on the B-side, Nature Boy, which is a standard, and Song of Praise, another Coltrane pen song. And we've got the usual guys on this. McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Elvin Jones on drums, and Art Davis. He's got 2 bass players on Nature Boy, comes in and helps on that. So this was the album we recorded and released straight after Love Supreme from 1965, so real delighted to get this UK first press in. John Coltrane Quartet Plays. And I showed this already. Kirsten Atkins, Sounds, was it Shapes and Sound? Just released a couple of weeks ago. And Kevin Gray's own Coherent label, his first album. Real good. Enjoying it. Sound is fantastic. So I got that from Music Direct. So I stuck another couple of LPs in with that, just to help with the postage. And because I only had probably only one copy of that, I went in really quick, picked 2 albums, and Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain. Now, I sold my copy, or traded it in, about a year ago, in the hope of picking up Mofi are doing a one-step, Sketches in Spain, so I got rid of my copy. And now, as we know, Mofi are now DSD from the master tape, and I'm not spending all that money, $150 or pounds, whatever it works out. So, but this is right in the wheelhouse, a 33 1/3 speed, $40. I've got number 8175. Good album, and this is LP Miles done straight after Kind of Blue, 1961. And I think he was in Spain with his wife, and she come to go along to, I think, listen to some Spanish music, which he wasn't very keen to do, and he eventually did. And so he recorded this off the back of that, and it's arranged and conducted by Gil Evans, and plays out really a bit like a soundtrack. Pretty different from Kind of Blue. I'm glad to get back in the collection. Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain from 1961. Mofi reissue. And also another Mofi reissue, which I didn't have, was Jack Johnson. This is a gatefold. And I've got number 7167. So that's Miles Davis tribute to the great boxer Jack Johnson. And this is the album he done after Bitches Brew. but it's a lot easier listening than Bitches Brewing. There's only 2 tracks on it. The band is Steve Grossman on soprano sax, Herbie Hancock organ, John McLaughlin on electric guitar, Michael Henderson electric bass, and Billy Cobbin on drums. 2 tracks. First track, side 1, lasts for nearly 27 minutes, and side 2 nearly 26 minutes, recorded in New York in 1970. It's not one of his bigger famous LPs, but I'm happy to stick this in the collection. So it's Miles Davis, 33 and a third, Mofi reissue. 2 more, and both are Blue Note classics this month. I'm glad to get both. This is Horace Parlin Quartet, Parlin. Horace Parlin Quintet, and we've got Tommy Turrentine trumpet, Stanley Turrentine, his brother, tenor sax, Horace Parlin on piano, Parlin, George Tucker on bass, and Al Harewood on drums. This is recorded in 1960. Great album, easy listening album. Stanley Turrentine plays some fantastic tenor sax on this. 3 tracks penned by Horace Parlin, and 1 by Stanley Turrentine, and 1 by Tommy 4043. Yep. Blue Note classic, glad to have in the collection. It sounds great, obviously. They're up £2 here now, so they were £20 for years, and now £22 at my local shop. So that's Horace Parlin Quintet from 1960. Cool album. Last one, we've got Jackie McLean, Bluesnik from 1962. 6 tracks, 4067. Great band on this one. We've got Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Jackie McLean on alto sax, Kenny Drew on piano, Doug Watkins on bass, and Pete LaRocca on drums. 6 tracks. Jackie McLean can get a wee bit out there in his later stuff, but this is from 1962. Just a cool, great jazz album, and really enjoying it, and great band. So that's it, VC. 9 LPs. Have a great rest of your weekend. Catch you maybe next week. Bye then.